This will be our day 4 JavaScript coding interview question. In this, we are going to see 25 coding interview questions which will help you to practice JavaScript, and also these questions will help you in your interviews. So for each and every question, I will be giving you 10 seconds to think. If you got the answer, then you can paste the answer in comment section. If you didn't get the answer, then you can watch the video solution. And once I upload all 10 videos related to JavaScript coding interview, I will be providing you with the complete documentation so that you can practice by seeing the document. So let us start with our coding interview questions. This is our first question. You have to find what will be the output of this code. First, let me just copy the path. Instead of opening with live server, I will just open this path. I will save, start the timer. Okay, let us see the solution. Now inside this console, here I am having template literal. Inside that, I have passed arrow function. And inside this arrow function, I am having one parameter and I am just returning that parameter. Now what I am doing, directly I am calling this arrow function. And inside this arrow function, I have passed this value as the argument. So whatever argument data I am having here, that will be passed here and immediately that will be returned. And here if you see, immediately we are calling this arrow function. So my output will be I am JavaScript. Let us see second question. Now in this, similar to this, but after this I have added developer. So you have to tell what will be the output of this code. Okay, let us see the solution. Now here, similar to this, immediately I am calling the function, and after that I have this developer. So when I display this, I will be having I am JavaScript developer. So this is the value from my function I will be getting, and after that whatever data I am having inside template literal, that will be displayed. So this is one thing inside template literal, and after that I am just having another word, and this entire thing is wrapped inside template literal. So it will be like I am just printing one single string inside this template literal. So that is the reason whatever result I get from this function, that will be displayed, and accordingly whatever data I am having after that, that will also be displayed. Now let us see third question. So you have to tell what will be the output of this line and this line. I will start the timer. Okay, let us see the solution. First, let us print the solution. Now for both I got Mumbai. So here what I am doing, so directly I am just copying this details object to A. And when I am trying to change the place property of A, it will be reflected in original object as well as it will be reflected in copied object, because both are sharing same memory location. So that is the reason if I change property of any object, that will be changed in another object as well. And in our day 2 coding challenge, we have already understood completely about shallow copy and deep copy to avoid this kind of situation. If you want, you can watch that video to understand shallow copy and deep copy. Let us see fourth question. Now you have to tell what will be the output of this add variable. Okay, let us see the solution. Save it. Now if I refresh, I got the result as 100. How? 2 tens are 20. 20 into 5, I will be having 100. And what this eval function will be doing, it is just going to evaluate JavaScript code and executes it. So accordingly, it has just evaluated my entire expression and it has generated me final result. It is as equal to, simply I'm just multiplying some numbers. Then next, let us see the fifth question. Same, again we are using eval method, but inside this if you see, we are passing entire thing as string. Let us see the solution. Now here in JavaScript, we already know whenever we are performing arithmetic operation, if we are having multiplication, division or subtraction, the numbers string will be converted to number. So here, and the evaluation will be happening from left to right. So first this part will be evaluated. 2 into 10, I will be having 20. Then I am having plus operator, and when I am having plus operator, it will be concatenated. So from here I will be having 20. 5 will be concatenated. So final value will be 25. And the data type of this will be string. Now let us see sixth question. Now for this you have to find the output, but before that we have to paste this code in our HTML file. I will copy. I will come to index.html and below this I am going to paste. First let me just uncomment from here, copy, and then inside this I am going to paste. Now here I am having button. Now you have to tell, when I click on this button, on what order this data will be displayed. You can see on what order this consoles will be displayed. I will start the timer. Let us see the solution. I will just click on the button. Now you can see I am having grandchild, first this one, then I am having child, and then I am having parent. Okay, this is the concept of event bubbling. So when I click on this button, first the event will be happening on this one, then it will bubble up and it will go to the parent. So first grandchild, then I will be having this, and then again I will be having this parent. So in this way our result will be displayed, and this is the concept of event bubbling. Now I'll come. Now let us see seventh question. Now you have to find the output of this num. Let us see the solution. Now here what we are using? We are using array higher order method map. So whenever we are applying map method, each and every iteration, it will be taking the elements present inside the array. So at first iteration, my value will be 1. I will come inside this. Now I am going to check type of 1. If it is equal to number, then simply I am just doing return. I am not evaluating this part. Then again, my val will be 2. Again, this condition will be true. Again, I am returning. Again here, 3. This condition is true. Again, I am returning. Again, 4. This condition is true. Again, I am returning. So, I will not come to this part. Directly, in this if statement only, if this condition was true, directly I returned. I never came inside this return statement. So, when I display num, now if I refresh, for each and every element inside the array, I will be having undefined because this function is not returning anything. So that is the reason when any function is not returning anything, we get the result as undefined. So you should always remember this. And related to this, we have the difference between map and for each. So map is if we are returning something, we will be getting that return value. But when it comes to for each, it is not returning anything. So it will be returning undefined. Let us come to eighth question. Now you have to tell what will be the output of this console. Okay, let us see the solution. Now inside this function, I am passing one argument, and inside this simply I am giving data.place and I have just changed or assigned some value. Below this, I have created one variable result, and for this I have assigned one object with the property place and value Bengaluru. Now while calling the function, this entire object I am passing as argument. So this entire object will be passed here. I will come inside the function. Now inside this object, I am changing this place property to Chennai. So when I display this result now, my result will be Chennai. Let me just save and refresh. You can see now my place is Chennai because inside the function, I have changed this property. And this function is an example of impure function because what it has done, whatever variable we are having at outer scope, we have changed the state of the variable. So that is the reason this function is an example of impure function. Let us see ninth question. Let us see the solution. Now here simply I have created one class fruit, and inside this I am having one property red and I have assigned the value apple. For this class I am returning this entire object. Inside that I am having this property with the value berry. Now I am creating the object for the class. Now when I call this fruit.red, let us see, we will get apple or berry. Now if I refresh, I will be having berry because this class is returning this value. So that is the reason when the object is created, whatever return value we are having, that will be displayed. Let us see 10th question. Now you have to tell what will be the output of both the lines. Let us see the solution. This khanam is nothing but it is a string. It is nothing but Truthy value. So whenever we are working with Truthy value, behind the scene it will be converted to true. So not of true will be false. So first line I will be having false. But type of this khanam, okay, it is nothing but it is a string. So type of this will be string. So first one will be false and second one will be string. Let us see 11th question. Now you have to tell what will be the type of X. Let us see the solution. Now if I refresh, I will be having type of X is undefined. Now if you notice, we are having grouping and I have assigned Y is equal to 90. So first this value will be assigned and X is created using let variable and Y is not created using let const. So it will be having global scope. X is having block scope. So when this immediately invoked function is executed, I will not be able to access X outside. So that is the reason type of X is undefined. Okay, it is as equal to if I create any variable. Okay, I have not created any variable. Simply, I am just using type of A. Save it, refresh this one. I will be having undefined. So similar to this, for type of X, I will be having undefined because X is declared using let keyword and that will not be accessible outside. Now let us see 12th question. Now you can see this is also having same thing, but here I have not wrapped inside this parenthesis. Let us see the result. Now if I refresh, again I will be having undefined. No matter if I wrap inside parenthesis or not, y will be assigned 90 and x is having block scope because we have declared using let, and y is not having either let, var and const, so y will be global scope. If I try to access type of x, I will be having undefined, but if I give type of y, I will be having number because 90 is assigned to y and y is having global scope and it can be accessed anywhere in a script. So for this also, if I do type of y, I will be having number. So no matter if you're wrapping inside brackets or not, you will be having type of x as undefined. Let us see 13th question. Now inside this, I am having two immediately invoked function. Now you have to tell what will be the type of x. Let us see the solution. Now you should be having understanding what will be the type of x. Again, it has to be undefined. No matter if you are having multiple immediately invoked function, then also x is declared using let and it will be having block scope and it will not be accessible outside the function. So that is the reason type of x is undefined. Now let us see 14th question. Now here what I have done, I have used two immediately invoked function. Now I want to see what will be the value of y. Here I am having y is equal to 90. Here I am having y is equal to 80. So when I display y outside, what will be the value of y? Save it. Start. Let us see the solution. Now if you see, my value of y is 80. So how we got 80? Let us understand. First this function is called. Here my value of y is 90. And y is having global scope because it is not declared using let, var and const. So first my value of y will be 90. Then again this function is called. So then y becomes 80. So when I display y here after calling this function and this function, final value of y will be 80. Let us see 15th question. Now here what I have done, I have created x outside using let and inside this immediately invoked function I am having x with var and outside of this I am trying to print x. So now you have to tell what will be the value of x. Let us see the solution. Now here you can see again we are having this x and that x is declared using var. And this is nothing but immediately invoke function. And var is having function scope. So x will not be accessible outside. So outside of this I am having x which is declared using let. So when I display x here, my value of x will be 210. Okay, I hope you understood. Let us see 16th question. Now you have to tell what will be the output of this function call. Simply I am displaying A, rest and C. I am not going to uncomment. Let us see the solution. Now as soon as I uncomment, before only I will be having this error. Rest parameter must be last in a parameter list because we have spread operator to spread out all the elements, rest operator to combine all the elements, and it should be at the end. If it is not at the end, it will not be knowing what element it has to combine. So that is the reason we will be having error. We will not be having any result. Instead, we will have this syntax error. Rest parameter must be last formal parameter. Now let us see 17th question. I will start the timer. Let us see the solution. Here I am using y, but below that I have declared y using var keyword. So whenever we are declaring variable using var keyword, and if we are using that variable before, variables will be hoisted and the value will be assigned as undefined. So when I call this function, my result will be undefined. Now let us see 18th question. You have to tell how to activate strict mode from HTML file. Okay, let us see the solution. Now here if I use a is equal to 9 and simply if I just log this a, save it, refresh this one successfully, I will be having the result. But here if I just activate strict mode in JavaScript, save it, I will be having this reference error, A is not defined. Now I will just uncomment this one. But the question is how to activate strict mode from HTML file. So I'll come to HTML file and wherever we are having the script tag, after this you have to write type is equal to module. Once you give this type is equal to module, it is going to activate strict mode. Now if I refresh, so if you give type is equal to module, you are activating strict mode inside HTML file. But here I am having some course error. But if you are not having this kind of error, once you activate the strict mode, you will be having the same error what we got inside JavaScript. I will comment below this. I will write, save it, refresh once. Now that error has gone. Now let us come to 19th question. You have to tell what will be the output of this function call. Let us see the solution. Here I am having function, but for this function I am creating one object. So when I display, I have created new object instant. Now if I refresh, I will be having this value because of this function call. And when I display this data, you can see I am having this display data as object. And inside this object, we are not having any property or any method because we have not added any property or method. Using this function call, I got good morning, but using this new keyword, I have created new empty object. So that is the reason I am having this result. Let us see 20th question. I will start the timer. Let us see the solution. Now in this code, outside of this function, I am having variable flower, but inside of this function, we have not used anywhere. So this line of code they have given only to confuse us. Below that, I am calling this function with the value 130. So 130 will be passed here. 4500 minus 130. Whatever result I will be having, that will be stored. Now what I am doing, I am printing inside the console as well as I am returning total. So let us see how many times total will be displayed. Now if I save this, only once my total will be displayed. And this total value is coming from this console. And whatever data we are returning, that is not displayed. Because if this function is returning some value, while calling the function, we have to store inside one variable. So here simply I will be writing const data is equal to, below this, now I will write data, save it, refresh this one. Now 2 times I will be having 4370 from this console, and this return total value I will be having 4370. Let us come to 21st question. This is little bit tricky. So inside this function, we are having another function. So now you have to tell what will be the output of this code. Let us see the solution. Now here I am having function, and inside that I am having another function, and I am just calling this function here. So when I call this function, inside that I am having string, you have total. And from where I am getting this total, my total is present inside this outer function. So here I am calling this function with the value 130. I will come, value will be passed. So whatever final value I will be having, that will be given to this total, and I am just displaying total. And inside this outer function, I am having another function display message, and for that I have assigned one string. But here I am using total, which is coming from this function, okay, which is coming from this outer function. And here I am having flower, and that variable is declared outside of this outer function. And finally, I am just displaying my result. And from here, as of now, let me just remove that return value, because we have already seen if we want to return some value, we have to store inside one variable. But directly, I am just displaying my total, and inside that I am having inner function, and this inner function is using the variable which is present on the outer function, as well as it is using the variable which is present on outer scope. So now let us see it will be able to access the variables or not. Now if I save and if I refresh, now you can see successfully it has accessed this 4370 from outer function, as well as, and this function is able to access the variable flower which is having the value rose, and this will be our final string. And why this inner function is able to access all the variables? Because so this function is the child function of flower count function. So whatever variables we are having in the parent scope, entire thing child function can access. And this flower variable is present at global scope. So all the global scope variables can be accessed inside any of the functions and they can be accessed in any scope. So that is the reason this function was able to access total as well as flower variable. Let us see 22nd question. Now what you have to do, you have to remove duplicates from this array and this array. There are basically two arrays. From all these arrays, you have to remove duplicate values. Okay, let us see the solution. We can use set data structure. Here I will be creating one variable const number array is equal to, now what I just want to spread all the values from my array and I want to put inside set. So simply write square bracket, use this 3 dot spread operator, then syntax of set, and inside this I'm just going to pass my array name. Now simply I'm just going to display this number array, save it. Now if you see, all the duplicate values are removed. 7 is having 2 times, that is removed. So in total now I am having 8 elements. So using these 3 dots, I have spread out all the elements and I have passed inside this array. And this set data structure is going to remove all the duplicate elements from our array. Similar to this, we are having another array. I will be writing const string array is equal to 3 dots new set data structure, and now we have to pass this variable. Print this string array, save it. Now if I refresh, you can see all the duplicate values are removed and I am only left with unique values Hanam, Seema, Sia and Reema. Okay, using this set data structure, you can remove either number duplicate data or string duplicate data from arrays. Now let us see 23rd question. Now in this, you have to find last element of the array, but you should not be using len property. Okay, let us see the solution. Now in array, we will be having index number starting from 0, 1, 2 and 3. And in reverse if we go, this will be having -1, -2, -3 and -4. So here simply I will write log array dot at method, and what I have to find, simply I will be writing at, and inside this I will be passing -1. So now this query is present at -1. Save, refresh this. Successfully I am able to access last element. You can use in many ways, but as of now in this example I have used at method. Let us see 24th question. Inside this function I am having another function, and here I am calling that function, and again I am calling this outer function. Let us see the solution. Now here I am calling this outer function with the value 7. So 7 will be passed here. And what this b is returning? It is returning 7. So here 7 is passed and here also 7 is passed. This is arrow function. So here I am having the value 7. I will come inside this function. Now value of a is changed to 8. So when I display the value of a, I will be having result as 8. But when I call this b function, whatever previous value I was having, you can see 7, that will be displayed. So value of a will be 8 here. And for this function call, the value of a will be 7. You can see 8 and 7. Let us see last question for the day. Now you have to tell me in what order our code will be displayed. Let us see the solution. Now here first synchronous code will be executed. First I will be having hello, then I will be having bye. Then here we are having three set timeout functions. Here for the middle one we are having 0 second. For first one we have 2000 millisecond and for third one we have 2000 millisecond. Both are having same time and this is having 0 second. So what it will do? First, this will be going in the callback. Then this will be going in the callback queue. Then this will be going in the callback queue. So my final result will be hello, bye, code 2, code 1 and code 3. Refresh this. Code 2, 0 second. Code 1 and code 3 will be executed at the same time after 2 seconds. Again, if I refresh, you can see after 2 seconds, first I will be having code 1, then I will be having code 3. So in sequence order, they will be executed. So that is the reason code 1 will be executed first, then we will be having code 3. That's all for this lecture. If you're having any doubt, you can ask your doubts in comment section. I will be uploading more videos on this. If this video was helpful, you can share your thoughts and also you can share the video with your friends who are practicing for JavaScript interview.